We are education. We teach the world's most respected system in diving.
We are exploration. We introduce millions to the underwater world.
We are community, connecting the world's largest and most active tribe of divers.
We are conservation. We create ambassadors for the preservation of our ocean planet.
We are Patty, and we are a force for good.
We are the kings of everything. We are the kings of everything. And it's always a good time. If you're with us, you'll be fine. 'Cause we are the kings of everything.
Good Monday evening, everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Safety Stop right here on the Penny Royal Divers Group. JoJo, how was your weekend?
This weekend was a blast.
Well, I guess
I
was going to say,
I was very happy to. You go on.
Oh, go ahead.
I was very happy to see the streets just full of kids this weekend.
Oh, man. I mean, it was awesome, yesterday, went out trick-or-treating with my son and Krista, and, we had a blast going to the different places, seeing all the costumes and everything. It was pretty amazing. Last year they didn't get to do a whole lot, and so it was really good. I seen y'all's pictures where everybody dressed up. I was in my bib overalls. I just called myself Farmer John.
Well, I really put it in this year. I did it at the quarry as well as here at the house. So we had Mr. and Mrs. Dracula out here, and then the kids did their thing. If you've seen them, if you're at the quarry last weekend, or, seen some of the pictures, you've seen their costumes, and they're pretty decent costumes for 5 and 8, 9-year-olds.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Well, I guess you could see I've been busy. We have a new, I edited the title sequence. So what'd you think about your pizza shot?
Blooper reels, good use of them.
Hey, it come up handy.
Just playing with the camera.
Yeah. So looks like we've got Mr. Danny Armstrong, Michael Schutz, and Mick Wallace in right now that's commented. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey.
Tonight we're going to Sean just popped in there and messaged. Anyway, so tonight we're going to do a viewer discussion. So you guys have questions, you want to talk about a certain topic, throw it in the comments. And we'll get started jumping in. It can be anything. We do this from time to time. It can be anything from travel, equipment. Do you have upcoming plans of diving? the winter season is getting close at hand. The water's cooling down here. Where are you going next? Are you going to wait until next season? Or are you going to the Keys? Do you have travel plans? So let us know up in the comments. Yeah, Danny, thanks. I used a little bit of your video, or the original video, but had some new shots that I hadn't played with, and anyway, so ended up redoing the music and all that, and really like the more upbeat. So makes diving more fun. So JoJo, what's your next dive going to be?
My next dive will be the Florida trip.
Oh yes, yeah. The December 3rd.
And a countdown.
Yeah, got the countdown
Less
timer.
About a month going.
Well,
location somewhere in Florida.
We don't know yet. We're just going to take a dart and we're just going to throw it on the dartboard or on the map, and wherever it lands, that's where we're going. Oh goodness. But anyway, so yeah, we're winding down the season at the quarry. This weekend, surface temperature had actually dropped down to about 66. So on the surface, but it's that way all the way down to 35 feet. So it's getting close to dry suit weather time. You can still make it comfortably. In a 5 mil hood and gloves, but you're not going to get deep. So,
I was able last weekend. You're able to, in a 5 mil, no hood, no gloves, and you're able to get down to the wheels of the fire truck. Absolutely love that when that happens.
Yeah. Well, this time of year, you can get down to the deeper attractions. The fire truck, the sailboat. Because that thermocline keeps pushing down, and of course, with it, every time it pushes down, the temperature's dropping up top. So it's going to be a little bit chilly here in the next couple of weeks, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Eventually they're going to merge and it's going to be cold.
Well, it's going to be just a couple of degrees variation from the surface to the bottom. So luckily, we've got the warming container, which is heated, and there's hot coffee, there's hot cocoa in there. So you can go in between your dives and warm up and, fix yourself a cup of coffee or hot cocoa or whatnot to help warm up between them dives. So, I mean, does the dive even really stop, or the diving really even stop, whenever winter hits? No, it doesn't. Aren't you supposed to be working on a project?
I am. I just wanted to salute to everybody.
So he's got an Indian project at school. He's doing a project on the Iroquois, and
Iroquois.
go. Oh,
It's my project. I should explain.
go.
I should explain because it's my project.
Go.
Not until I get.
I'm going to
Dude,
get
I
a
bet you
door
were doing
and I'm going to lock it. Yeah. He needs to be working instead of horsing around in here. So let's see. Start speaking on divers. Okay. Start speaking in divers' tongues. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what you've been there smoking there, cuz, but you're not making a lot of sense. Santa's watching. Yeah. Okay. I'm already on the naughty list. It don't matter. Oh goodness.
I broke Santa's budget a long time ago. He said he can't afford me anymore.
Exactly. He sees my list and it's all scuba gear. He's like, no, naughty list, automatic every year. Yeah. I don't even ask anymore. But yeah. So I've been Dima's coming up here in about 2 weeks. So which unfortunately we're not going, but that's when they debut all the new equipment and stuff coming out, and which there's been several manufacturers, and even SSI has already pulled out for this year, just because of the pandemic and the rise in numbers and stuff. But I'm anxious to see what all new's coming out. I know Sherwood has a couple of new BCs coming out. I mean, there's several different things coming out for next year, so I'm really excited to see what my Christmas list is going to pertain to, or what I'm going to put on it.
Probably another GoPro.
Yeah. Well, I've been resisting the urge to pull the trigger on the 10, so
He'll be recording with 3 of them next year.
Yeah. Well, sitting here, I've got my 8 right here, which I just got. When we was in Roatan, I ran off and left my SD card, and finding an SD card on Roatan, yeah, it didn't happen. So as soon as I got home, I ordered I think it's a 256 gig memory card. So now it's telling me I can record up to 7 hours and 59 minutes worth of video.
Yeah, I maxed mine out too when I got it. It's like, I don't want to run out of room.
Yeah. Well, I learned an important lesson. Excuse me. A couple of weeks ago, right after we got back from Roatan, I talked about my external hard drive that I took with me so that I could download, my footage and everything. And it ended up falling out of my lap, hitting the floor, and it quit working. So 3 days worth of photos and videos was on that hard drive, and I found out last week. Sent it off to data recovery. They were actually able to recover it, and so I should be getting it back tomorrow. So hopefully all those videos and photos and stuff I'll be able to put on my cloud and have a double backup. But I learned an important lesson. Always upload to your cloud. When you're traveling, upload to the cloud. Don't take an external hard drive. Let's see. So Richard's on here. Santa's watching. Cold water. Yes, you are. When does Santa get his? A heads-up display mask. Well, a heads-up display mask is a great idea. I know a place where you can buy one. So, or you can ask Santa. Jojo, what's on your Christmas wish list? Any new gear besides the dry suit?
Well, that would be a big one if I could get it.
Have you heard anything else on that?
I need to call him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just need to check in, see what's going on with it.
Oh yeah, yeah. So anything else other than Santa bringing you a dry suit for Christmas?
Well, I mean, I gotta get a new dive computer. That's on the list.
Oh.
Not been a good year for gear on me.
Yeah.
I'm aging mine out pretty quick, so I mean, I'm gonna pretty much need a whole system by the time I'm done. So I'm going on 8 years of continuous pounding.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Well, the more you use your equipment, the more wear it gets. And, that's what I tell people, when you buy equipment, if you're just diving for fun, recreationally, even if you do 50 dives a year or, 100 dives a year, your equipment's still going to last you a long time. Like we're us as dive professionals, we're always in our gear, teaching, working, doing all that. So, our gear doesn't last as long because we're constantly using it. And, so, that's one thing. Sherwood's got a new version of the Avid BC, which I use, coming out. And it's pretty cool because it's called the Avid Phantom. and it's an all black BCD, so it looks really cool. So I'm just I'm waiting to put that down on my wish list for Christmas.
Will it work out better than that back inflate you got?
Well, I've got the back and plate. I've only used it, when we were in the down in Florida in January. I haven't dove it since. Just my personal views. It didn't work well with my BCD or with my dry suit, so I was like, And I was going to try it this summer there at the quarry and see how it was, not in a dry suit, but I never did get a chance to. So
that dry suit didn't work either.
Yeah. We had a gentleman in yesterday, and it was funny, but it wasn't funny. They were going to work on getting their deep dive instructor. They're both PADI instructors, and got brand new dry suits. And he, one of them, wasn't able to get in the water because it was a neoprene suit with a neoprene seal. And I'm not even joking. It had a huge gap. I mean, it would not seal on his neck. I mean, you could literally run your hand down through the seal without even touching his neck. So, I mean, it was
after folding it over?
After folding it over.
Yeah, neoprene, you fold inward.
Yeah.
They barely touch on your neck, and that air pressure is supposed to hold it against your neck.
Yeah,
but it's supposed to be.
It was a big gap. I mean, it was even folding it in. It still had a gap in there, and there's no way air pressure. It would have just blown it back out to normal and flooded. So
yeah, normally they're made snug.
Yeah.
A little looser than latex. But.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Dad's in here tonight. Of course, he's on the road to recovery. He is able to do a little bit more, each week. So good to see that. He's been working on some dry suits at home. So hopefully I can find some more stuff to take to him to keep him busy. But always good seeing him pop in. I'm assuming he's sitting in his chair watching on his phone. So, but anyway, we're going to do the Springs in December, but I'm really looking forward to Bonaire in April. Let's see. What did he say? It's not up where it needs to be. 82, don't get it. Okay.
I think he's talking about water temp. He wants the water warmer.
I don't blame him. When we were in Roatan, it was 87 degrees. I mean, that's just like, okay, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
I
tell you what, I got that big wetsuit. I'm able to slide it on like butter. The 70-degree water was comfortable to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, when we're in Florida.
Makes me think I've been getting too small of a wetsuit for a very long time.
Well, very possible. I mean, whenever you have to, pour yourself into it and then try to peel yourself out of it, it may be a little bit too small.
Zippers are breaking.
Yeah, I was going to say, or when the zipper goes, bing. Yeah, it's probably just a wee bit too small. Of course, whenever you have to roll your legs up or your sleeves up, then it's a little bit too long too.
Yeah. We should figure out how to do seamstry on those things. Yeah. I can take off 6 inches on each arm. Easy.
Then you'd have big old wrist. You'd have to have some kind of like elastic to put into it.
Staple it. We're just going to staple it all together.
Just staple it all.
I got, yeah. Rivet. We'll just put rivets.
Yeah, there you go.
That should work.
So we're just we're doing a viewer discussion. So if you've got something, you're just now tuning in, joining us. We're just chit chatting back and forth, different things about scuba. So if you have something like a particular topic, throw it up there in the comment section. We're sitting here monitoring that. If you have a question, about travel or gear, or let us know where you're heading to next. It's always fun seeing where everybody's traveling to. Like we're heading to Florida in December, then on to Bonaire in April. So of course we've got this 2021 season winding down, closing here. We've got 2 weekends left, and then we're taking a little bit of a break and getting back started in January, getting things ready to go back. Mr. Mark's in the house. Yeah, I'm with you, Mark. I am ready to go back to Roatan. I think I can find a plane ticket around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Ready to.
Yeah, Mark.
Huh?
I miss you guys. I haven't seen you a month ago, but darn, miss y'all.
We really had a good time when we were down there.
I had a blast.
I
was just needed that.
Well, here's what made me mad. They told us when we were down there the week before they had hammerheads spotted, had 2 of them. And, so we're there all week. We're looking for these hammerheads. We're hitting dive sites, getting line fish, keeping our eyes open, hoping to see, these 2 hammerheads swimming around on one of the sites. And never did. But as soon as we get back that Sunday, the next day after we left, they seen 2 more, or I don't know if it's the same ones, or I think they knew we were diving that week and we wanted to see them.
Yeah, something. But turtles, they did play nice.
Yes, they did. That's and the one I don't know what this thing's doing. There we go. The one that I really enjoyed was on my external hard drive. So hopefully, if all goes well tomorrow when it's delivered, I'll be able to pull that, because it just started swimming directly at the camera, and when it got right at the camera, that's when it turned to the side, and it was a beautiful shot. Let's see, Mr. John Land's in the house. It's always a pleasure seeing Mr. John in here, joining us about scuba and all that. Wealth of knowledge. Always love seeing him in here. He says he loves his Black Zodiac BCD. The Zodiacs are awesome BCs. They dry quickly. If you've got the weight integrated version, which it's a little funky on the weight integrated version because it's not simply just the pockets that slide in and out, but great BCD. Yeah, great with a dry suit too. Mick says ocean fruity beverage. You partook in a couple of those, didn't you?
A few.
Now, JoJo, I said a couple. You don't have to divulge everything. Mr. Sean Bowen's in the house. Good evening, sir. Yeah, more than one. I said a couple, so
If there wasn't a regulator in my mouth, there was a drink in my hand.
So if it wasn't a regulator, it was a drink, right?
Yeah.
Mark says many. Yeah, I think his drink of choice was a drink they called the painkiller.
Yeah. Yep. Painkillers, and we had the monkey tails going around, and the daiquiris, and
that's one thing I love about dive trips is the camaraderie between everybody on the group. Cutting up, carrying on. You learn what they like to drink, and socialize, and you get to experience the dives together. That's what makes the dive trips so much fun. Definitely painkillers. Mick says he would love to dive the U-352 in the spring. Now,
Aren't you going with me in the summer?
well, he had said something about it. Now, when y'all were there, or I say when y'all didn't do the U-352 when y'all were there, did you?
Tried. We tried. The current was too strong. They were getting a knot and a half current, so can't dive that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's
so we got a different one. Might be next time.
maybe
There's a crap ton of wrecks over there, and a lot
Yeah,
I want to get on.
That's what July the 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
Yeah, something like that. It's 4th of July weekend. That gives an extra day for hopefully can plan that around being off work and getting home and enjoying the 4th with family and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, Mick popped in there and said, "Sorry, I meant summer." So yeah, I think he's planning on. I talked to him today. I think he's planning on doing that. He's really interested in that U-352.
Yeah, it's a fun trip. That's why I'm going back. I wouldn't go back if it wasn't fun. Of course, I'm a shipwreck kind of guy, and I like sharks too. And that was one for the books there if you're a shark lover.
So I'm going to ask you this question, JoJo. So would you do the Jules Underwater Lodge again?
It would depend.
To me, that's still, I've been there, done that. Okay, I've experienced it. Check off. All right, next one.
Well, we went there with new, brand new divers. So, the whole goal there was to get them familiar in salt water and familiar with their gear.
Yeah.
Would it have been better if we're able to get them on a boat, see something pretty? Yeah. At the same time, I had a great second dive.
Yeah.
That young gentleman that I went with, we didn't go to the lodge where it was all nasty and stuff. We stayed on the perimeter and seen lobster and spades and even kind of snuck out of the preserve and found a sunken boat up behind the apron there.
You didn't know you was outside of it though, right?
No, I didn't know at all.
Yeah. But the concept was pretty neat, the way they had the old research lab and all that. It would have been better if you could have seen more than, 5 foot, but 4 or 5 foot.
They had the lights on. 'Cause they didn't even have the lights on inside. There was nobody inside that, interact with. They had a Finding Nemo doll in the window.
Yeah.
Other than that, you really couldn't see anything. So
No.
the structure itself was kind of but the perimeter actually made for a nice dive.
Yeah. Well, surrounded by mangroves, a lot of sanctuary for marine life. So, it makes sense you've seen lobsters and everything else on the outside of the perimeter versus, there around the lodge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love swimming them through the mangroves. You might only be in a few feet of water, but darn the life you find just in and out of all the root systems. They're crazy.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that Morrison is diveable when we're down there. Last time we were there, it was beautiful. 80, 90 foot visibility. You could see all the way across. The spring there. It was, the cypress roots. Even though it was 10, maybe 12 foot max depth around the cypress roots. It was just beautiful. So I'm really hoping that happens, that we get to do that one.
Mm-hmm. I think the water was actually even a little down compared to where it normally was.
Well,
it felt that way.
That picnic table you and Krista tried to arm wrestle on.
That was cool.
It was 5 or 6 feet underwater. So
yeah, somebody drugged that in the water and was having fun with it there. This don't belong here, but it's cool.
Yeah, I got a good shot on that one. Good photo op there. John says manatees are common at Jules too. We didn't see any manatees.
No?
No, we didn't.
We didn't even hear a word about them.
No. Now, when we did Manatee Springs in January, uh, when we made it back to the exit point, we had those folks there on the ladder or the steps. Asked if we'd seen the manatees in the river, which we went to the river, but we turned around and come back, so we never made it outside the boundary.
Yeah.
But that would have been cool.
Which I'll have my dive flag with me, so if we can make it down to Morrison, we can go down the river a little bit.
Yeah.
Might find something cool.
You never know. I mean, diving is fun whether you're exploring or, just enjoying the peace, quiet, and solitude. It's always, every dive's fun. Even my worst dive was a fun dive. So, maybe it was a work dive, but it was still fun. But so we're getting ready to enter the holiday season. And I'm just going to throw this out there. If anybody is wanting to comment, go ahead and comment. What's one piece of scuba equipment or present dealing with scuba would you like to have this holiday season? So if you want to, go ahead and throw it up in the comments. Me personally, I'd have to say I'm kind of like JoJo. I want a new dry suit. I want one that mine's 14 years old, so it's got several dives on it, and so kind of want to look at the dry suit aspect, but yeah, so that's really the only thing I can think of, scuba related.
Well, we do got a good provider, a custom dry suit company.
Yeah.
I can do a good job 99% of the time.
98%.
98, you took it down.
We'll take a little bit off. 98%. But they do, they do good custom wise. It's one of those things, everybody's different, size wise and all. And, I'm sure they're not used to seeing, folks my size and JoJo's size. So
I'm an odd shape.
Well, I always say, when if I'm going to get a wetsuit or a dry suit, they're going to have to make Omar the tent maker is going to have to make it because
I'm a snow globe with legs.
Yeah. Well, it really was. Mick says that a good underwater camera for the wife. Now, I can actually comment on that one a little bit. If you've seen one of my shots from Roatan, believe it or not, it was taken with a GoPro. I did not take my DSLR, my underwater camera rig, or anything. The only thing I took was my two GoPros, my Hero 8 and Hero 9. And everything that I shot was shot on the 9, just because my 8 didn't have an SD card. But
I mean, I'm using an 8, and it's been the best camera I've had.
Oh, yeah.
I used the GoPro a few years ago until that incident in Roatan, which was, I had no idea what I was doing, and at least able to get pictures decent out of it. And then we had that one in the office. I had that one. I don't even remember what it is. And it did an all right job. I didn't find it as great as the GoPro.
Yeah. Well, and you're talking about the Intovas. And of course, the Intova for diving was before GoPro put the display on the back. And so, when you were shooting with a GoPro, you was just hoping and praying that you got what the shot you wanted. And that's one thing.
That's the one I was using. The GoPro that I was using had nothing. I just point and shoot. That's all I could do.
And that's, that's one of the things that kept me from buying a GoPro was because I wanted to be able to see what I was shooting. And with the Intova, when they come out with those, I think it was the X1 or I can't remember which one, but when they come out with them, they had the screen on the back. So you could see, what you was shooting underwater, get the frame you want, get the shots you want. And, GoPro had to step up their game because these other little action cameras were coming out, on Amazon and everything else that they could buy dirt cheap and had that feature. So, since they started putting the displays on the back and, they've updated the 8, the 9 have the stability,
That's the big one. Stability. Oh, you see, I know y'all watched that video, the startup video, and it on the boat and how still it is. That boat's going back and forth, and I'm just looking at it going, it wasn't that smooth.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when we were in Roatan, I had I think it was a 16 or a 32 gig. I think it was a 32 gig that someone let me borrow. So, the second day we were down there. And so I put it in the 8 and I mounted the 8 to the boat. And one of the time lapse shots that I got, you could see the boat moving, but the horizon was still. So, I mean, you just seen the boat moving, up and down, up and down. And then everything I shot after that was not on the external hard drive, the boat was still, everything else was shaking. So it's like, oh man, I'm getting seasick just watching this. See, Danny says he could use a good tropical wetsuit, but above all, dying for the next dive trip. I'm in the boat with Danny. I'm ready for the next dive trip.
Hey, can I get the charger?
Uh-oh. Is your computer getting down?
Yeah, it just came up saying, "Hey, you need to charge me, dummy." Kids were on it today.
I gotcha. Mick says he's got a 9. Well, that's what I shot with in Roatan. Was my 9. All of my underwater shots, all of my underwater video, all done on the 9. And only thing I don't like about the 9 underwater is if you're shooting photos, it's all JPEG. And with my DSLR, I can shoot RAW and have more functionality, to do more with the photos. Jojo, is your light going crazy?
Wow, it's going crazy again.
We had this a couple of weeks ago on the show, didn't we?
Yeah, right before our Halloween hunt.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I think Alexa's messing with you.
Yeah, well, it goes the voltage dreams.
Are you sure you're not still having a Halloween party over there?
I don't know. It's looking like a disco party right now.
Cue up the music. Oh, goodness. Let's see here. So, well, shoot. Just lost. All right. Back to my comments here. So,
making
so
it worse.
As far as do what?
Said I'm making it worse.
What are you doing? All right, this is a disclaimer. We're not responsible for seizures. Uh-oh. There you go. I think you got it settled down.
Oh, smart house technology. You got to be great, right?
That's the reason I don't use voice commands. Man, it just keeps brightening and dimming and brightening.
Yeah. I think I got it now.
You think you got it?
Yep.
All right. Well, I was going to say, because it kept brightening and dimming and brightening and discoing, and you sure you're not playing music in the background back there, and it's just beating to the music.
Yeah, getting this going here.
We do have, I do have a clip of you dancing underwater. Just remember that.
Hey, it's a good clip. Me dancing underwater actually busted a move. So show it.
Yeah, that was on the Georgia Aquarium back in June. Yeah, back in June. So Mick says you need a disco ball now.
I had one.
It's right above your head, right? So Danny, I don't know if you're still in here or not, but do you have any dive plans? Are you heading anywhere warm and tropical? Just curious. Uh, let's see. Yeah, we need to get you a disco ball and just put it up and just let it rotate, and then that way, when your lights decide to go haywire, make a little party out of it.
Yeah, I see this where this is going. The girls are going to be in here dancing, and Junior's going to be in here thinking it's a pinata.
It wants to know where the candy is, huh? Oh, that goodness. So I'm assuming that the kids got tons of candy yesterday.
Yeah, they got a crap ton of candy, as well as the kids in the neighborhood got a crap ton of candy. I put 2 big old bags out and left it on the porch for them to enjoy, and not a piece of it is left.
Oh yeah. Well, that first one walked up and went.
No, we came back about an hour later, and there was still a little bit, but they were grabbing them by the handfuls. No doubt on that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But hey, that's what it was there for. Enjoy, kids. Parents, they're yours.
Have fun. Oh, Danny says he wishes, which he's going through some schooling right now. Says he's going to graduate in January, then be looking for a job. So hopefully going somewhere come next summer. Well, it's good luck with the schooling. I didn't get a chance to see you very much this season, Danny. Know you've been busy with that, and I know he put up on his Facebook. I guess it's been 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's doing computer programming, and he come up with a pretty cool app that he designed himself. Hopefully he can do something with it. He put the link. I was able to look at it, and he done an awesome job on it. I have to give him kudos to that, because it was very well laid out. But good luck with that, and hopefully we'll see you underwater, because Danny does awesome underwater videos. So he's got the little 360 camera. We used a couple of his clips this year in a couple of promotional videos, and he does a wonderful job. So what type of dry suit are you looking at, Chris? One that fits me.
There's a going trend here, ain't there?
Yeah, one that fits me.
You should have just kept like that third one that I got last time.
Yeah. Well, when it comes down to like stock dry suits and stuff, they just don't make them in fat boy sizes. I mean,
No.
they don't. The last off the shelf I'm going to say that I bought was the one I'm currently using now, the Fusion dry suit, which originally was whites before they sold the Aqualung. And so, like I said, it's 14 years old now. And the bad part about it, it's a 4X, but I can't wear like traditional insulation underneath it. It's just too tight. So it would have to be a 5 or a 6X for me to fit in it. And, so really, I have to go with somebody who does custom dry suits just because, of my size. Now, the last one that JoJo got in, I could wear it. I could wear it and had a ton of room. Bless his heart, it was a little long on JoJo, but hopefully they'll have that fixed, and Santa can bring it to him. Yeah. Which it was pretty funny when your crotch was hanging down below your knees. It's like, you know,
Oh, and when I got on the on that internet or on that conference call with the designer and I got in that suit, she couldn't do nothing but laugh how bad it was. As I say, we're laughing at this. It's pretty much a one-time off. I'm a weird body shape.
well, it's kind of like that joke I seen. I laughed, she laughed, the toaster laughed, so I shot the toaster. Yeah, Danny says at some point he'd like to deploy the app to the store when it's ready. If you're friends with Danny and you've seen it, it's an awesome app. So I can't wait. I hope he gets it deployed on the app store. Awesome app. Mick says they're going to use his dry suit in the Macy's parade this year. So I'm assuming they're going to put a Snoopy head on it and pump it full of helium and fly it around down through downtown New York.
Well, I'm wondering if you can pump it full of helium if you can just still use the hard hat.
Well,
That'd be cool.
Probably have that high pitched tone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I seen on YouTube. It's been several years ago. There was a video of technical divers using Trimix, and of course, in Trimix they use helium as well. And what was really funny was it was called oh crap, I done forgot the title of it. Tourette's induced hypothermia.
Oh, that was hilarious. I've seen that one.
Yeah, Tourette's induced hypothermia. So if you haven't seen this video, it's a couple of technical divers diving. I believe it's off of Christmas Island or somewhere in the Pacific, and it shows them at intervals of like 200 feet, 250 feet, 300 feet. And they keep going down, and I guess it keeps getting colder and colder, and they're complaining, but hearing the voices of them with their communications was hilarious. If you haven't seen
chipmunks swearing like sailors.
Yeah, they got a few colorful metaphors in there. But if you haven't seen Tourette's induced or hypothermia, it's hypothermia induced Tourette's. That's the name of it. Hypothermia induced Tourette's.
I would say so. Tourette's would really be kicking in at those temperatures.
Well, I don't know what was funnier. I don't know if it was the descent, as they descended, or if it was the ascent when they were coming up. Just the comments and stuff they made. Yeah, it was like, yeah. Definitely don't want the kids watching it and learning new words. That's for sure. Oh, goodness. But, yeah, so if you got time and you're bored and you want to check something out, it is pretty funny, especially towards the end when they're coming up. Hypothermia-induced Tourette's syndrome. I don't know if they truly had Tourette's or not, but it was pretty interesting.
Get that video stuck in my head now.
Oh, yeah, well, you're going to go to bed tonight thinking about hypothermia-induced Tourette's syndrome. And it's a diving video, so if you're just tuning in or catching the tail end of this, it is a diving video. A couple of technical divers doing some kind of research from what I gathered, and so you just have to see it, and yeah. Oh, but Hey, in other news, did you see where? Of course, I don't know how many people seen Men of Honor, but did you see where the son of Carl Bashir's was doing the Mark V dive at Vortex this past weekend?
Oh, I know they do that annually down there, though.
Oh, they do, yeah, and it's a chance to be able to dive in the and a Mark V hard hat.
I don't think they got a suit big enough for me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing. Drive all the way down there, you'd be disappointed.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'd like to go and see how it's
Yeah.
done and how they do it. I mean, but the thing with I can't remember the guy's name. He's the son of Carl Bashir's, which if anybody has seen the movie Men of Honor, uh, that was the life of Carl Bashir's as a Navy hard hat diver. And so his son, there's the Carl Bashir's Foundation, which his son goes around and does different things, raises money and stuff for this foundation. But he actually participated at the, I think it's Scuba Educators International's the one who puts it on, but actually, put made the dive there at Vortex Springs over this last weekend when they were doing that. So that was pretty cool.
Kind of wonder, is he a Kentucky native?
I haven't done any
I think
research.
that's a good question.
I haven't.
And I asked this because he has, in his foundations and stuff, he has got a veteran center just down the road from us. And we go down there and sing Christmas carols and stuff with Girl Scouts during the winter. And a lot of his pictures and his hard hats and stuff are just all through there where he sponsored it and stuff.
Yes.
So I just wonder what his
He is.
ties are to Kentucky.
He was born in Kentucky on January 19th, 1931, in Tonyville, Kentucky. Tonieville. So, yes, he actually is from Kentucky.
Wow. That makes me feel better to even be a Kentuckian to, live in the same state as that guy.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen the movie, I mean, it's an awesome movie. He's portrayed by what is it, Cuba? Help me out, JoJo.
Oh, I'm horrible with names. I can't remember the actor.
I can't either. I'm wanting to say Cuba Downing Jr. or something. Hold on. Do what? Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. Portrayed Carl Bashir and in that movie. So it says here let's see, he was born in Tonyville, Kentucky. He was the sixth of 8 children. Let's see. In 1935, they settled on a farm in Sonora, Kentucky.
That's just down the road from me.
Yeah, and he attended Sonora grade school from 1937 to 1946.
Wow. I didn't know it was going to be trivia night, but I like trivia.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
mean, that's I've seen the movie. It's pretty cool. What he went through to be a Navy diver back then, and even after losing his leg, he was still able to do the hard hat diving with the Navy. So I mean, very very good story. As far as the movie, his life, and I didn't know he was from Kentucky until right now.
Yeah.
So
I was like, there has to be a coincidence. There's a lot with his name on it in this state. So
yeah, well,
now I'm going to have to go and Google something because I know there's something in Sonora I'm going to have to go check out now.
yeah. Well, and especially since it's not that far from you. I mean, very very interesting. Like I said, I never knew that he was from from Kentucky until you said something and I looked it up. So, very interesting. Let's see here. Mick says need to find out how they mounted the MK5 to the Viking dry suit at Vortex. Yeah, I know you don't. I don't think you have to use their suit. There has to be a way that they can adapt that Mark V. Of course, I'm not a hard hat diver. Don't have any experience in it, so I don't know. But I would think there would have to be a way. Like JoJo said, don't think their suit would fit. There has to be a way, where you can do the experience without having to do with that suit. I don't know. There may not be, but
I almost wonder if they've got a custom neoprene like liner in it. You just slide your head over, and
yeah,
it seals around your neck.
that's kind of
That's
what I'm thinking. Like a neck dam used for the Kirby Morgans and stuff that go on, and it just locks in and seals in place.
but that would make it a lot more versatile for everybody. Because then you're just
Yeah,
covering your head with it. Put a wetsuit on underneath. Great.
yeah.
A lot of weight to your ankles though.
Exactly. But yeah, interesting. Like I said, we learn something new every day, and learning that Carl Bashir's was from Kentucky. Like I said, I never knew it. I've seen the movie. I know the story. I know his story as far as Navy wise, but where he came from, I had no clue. So I mean, that's an interesting thing. You'll just have to take pictures whenever you run down to Sonora.
I got pictures. I don't know what I did with them, but I got them of the Veteran Center down here.
Uh-huh.
There's hard hats and pictures and stuff.
Now, is that
Different news articles.
the Veteran Center is?
Veteran Center right here in Radcliffe, Kentucky,
Okay.
right beside the Veterans Memorial Cemetery. Big, and they even got it's a big cemetery. Of course, we're right next door to Fort Knox as well.
Yeah.
And then we also have a 9/11 memorial on that site, which they've took some of the I-beams from the centers and put
Gotcha.
them out there. So if you're in this area, check it out. It is awesome, humbling, something I go and visit every year.
Cool deal. Yeah, like when you were saying that there was stuff like referencing him up there, I mean that makes perfect sense now.
Mm-hmm. It just surprised me because I've never known Fort Knox to be a naval base. So,
Well, no, but
I
still,
know it's Army,
veterans.
but it's
It
veteran.
doesn't matter.
I think his organization sponsored that Veteran Center. So,
Could be. I mean, very well could
and
be.
that's why
Very
it's
interesting.
got a lot of in there.
Let's see. John says he dove the Mark V in Key Largo a few years ago, and it was a blast. I would love to do it. Just one time in the Mark V to be able to say that I've done it. They do this. They do this every year down at Vortex, but it's always, I'm always stuck at the quarry because it's still our season, and so I don't ever get a chance to. But I mean, it'd be a blast, if they could bring
It's coming
it.
to a close.
I know.
I mean, whew. We
Yeah, I
got
know.
one more weekend,
No,
two more.
Two more.
Two more
Yeah, we've got
weekends.
this weekend, and then the next weekend is the last until April the 9th. April the 9th starts the 2022 season. Of course, we're in the middle of working on schedules and hours and events and stuff like that right now, trying to get everything finalized for next season. But that's something I would love to add to the event roster next year is like a Mark V demo.
Hey, give them a phone call. Maybe they'll come do it at the quarry with you.
Yeah,
Got the room.
maybe. You never know. It would be interesting to see.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
found it. You can get a yoke to dive the Mark V in a regular wetsuit. So
Oh,
yeah,
there
Mick's
we
already on
go.
top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already on top of it. So yeah, I may have to find out about that because that would be. I would love to do it just one time. You
Oh
know.
yeah, if you do it in a wetsuit or we get warm enough here,
Yeah.
skin would be worked if you did it in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Which would be really weird. You got all these divers and then somebody's walking on the bottom in a freaking hard hat. It's like,
Yeah.
what did I just watch?
Now, John, did you do the entire suit or did you just do just the Mark V? If it's in Key Largo, I don't know if they had the whole set, boots and all, or if it's just a hard hat experience. But I mean, if they make a way you can use a regular wetsuit, I mean that's awesome.
He says he did it. Yeah, I wasn't there for that. No.
Oh, yeah, John said he used the entire suit. So, yeah, I mean, that would be awesome. But I just don't think I'm fitting in the entire suit. I don't think it'll work that way. It'd be nice, but I don't think
Mick, when you're
that's.
down when you're down at the quarry, I'll probably knock on your head for you.
Dink, dink, dink. Of course, I know the boots are, that's the weight. So I can only imagine how it would feel, to move those things, out of the water. In the water is probably not as bad, but all right.
I
So
still
I
think
know,
they're bricks in the water.
yeah, I was gonna say John's still in here. So John, how much do the boots weigh? Did they tell you? That's something I'm curious about. As far as the weighting. Uh, I don't know. I don't know how much the boots weigh.
I bet they're 20 pounds a piece.
They may
They gotta be
be.
mammoth. All that. Well, I mean, they used to be lead line, but
Yeah,
they're probably steel now.
probably. Probably so. But
'Cause they didn't want you to go down head first. They wanted you to go down feet first.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got
You're
problems if
getting
you're going down head
lowered.
first.
Yeah, you get lowered by a freaking crane. It's serious.
Oh. Yeah, they. I know they put pictures up of. I think his name's Philip, if I'm not mistaken. Philip Bashirs or Phil. Let's see if I can find. Um. Yeah, I think it was Philip. He had 4 children. Looks like. Uh, yeah, I want to say it was Philip. He had looks like 3 sons, Dwayne, Philip, and Patrick. So I think it was Philip that was down at Vortex doing the Mark V. Oh wow, the
25.
boots weren't as heavy as the type used by commercial divers. About maybe 25 pounds each. So that's 50 pounds just on your feet. I mean, talk about a leg workout.
Yeah.
That
You
would
missed
be
the gym that day.
yeah. He said they look the same, but they're not as heavy as the type used in commercial diving. But yeah, I
Well, I
mean,
won't say demonstration. They're not probably using all that unless you just
yeah,
want the athletic experience.
uh,
Wow.
yeah. Dad says need to get in touch with Bill. Was in the He was in the Navy. I know who he's talking about. He dove the Mark V with Bobby before he went to the racetrack. Oh yeah, that's been several years ago. Lord, that's probably been 20 years ago, 15 to 20. So it's been quite a while. Walking around with the Kirby Morgan rig is bad enough. I'd hate to have to haul the whole Mark V rig around. Oh, but you know
Oh,
that
whoa.
that's a piece of a history. I mean, the Mark V, is probably the most recognizable emblem of diving.
It was
That's
like what 700 pounds or something in that range for
what's
that
that?
whole suit for the whole
No,
MK5.
no. I wouldn't think it was that much because they would walk in and out like on ladders and stuff. So,
Yeah,
uh,
they didn't walk far.
no, getting in the water. Yeah, I mean they got rest. If you go back and watch Men of Honor, they're actually suiting up on the dock, and then they get up with assistants and go over to a ladder, and they go down the ladder to enter the water. So I mean, it can't be. I wouldn't figure a couple of 100 pounds. Let's see. I don't know. Like I said, this is something I don't know a whole lot about. Is the helmet diving? Let's see.
200 pounds. Okay.
Is it
Yeah.
200?
That's what Mick says. Anyway, you can always
Uh
Google it.
oh. Well, that's what I was trying to do.
A 200 wouldn't be too bad heavy suit, but that's walkable. I'm thinking of this scene, in Men of Honor where he's got to walk across the room and it's,
Oh yeah.
a struggle for just the ordinary person to walk, 50 paces. So,
Okay, so the helmet is apparently a little over 55 pounds. So, I mean, how much is a Mark
between the
V?
boots and the helmet, all right, we're already at over 200.
Okay,
No, at
so
100.
approximately 190 pounds with everything. So, I mean, yeah, so 200's a good close range there. Uh, yeah, even let's see. John says it felt heavy going down and up as a ladder, but underwater much easier to walk around. And then of course Mick says whole thing around 200. So yeah, we were close. I mean, I didn't figure 700 because
I wasn't close.
I
I was
don't
figuring it was
know.
crazy heavy.
Yeah, well, I mean, you walk around with 200 pounds on you. I mean, 200 additional pounds. I mean that. I think packing 250-pound bags of dog food on my shoulder. That's
Oh,
yeah. You know, imagine 4 bags. Yeah, that'd be like, oh my gosh. Yeah, of course. Mick does bring up a good point. There is a difference between the spun copper and the fiberglass. So yeah, so there's a difference there depending on which one you're using. But let's see, JoJo. I think we've went a little over tonight. It looks like it's about 8 minutes after 9, but it's been a very interesting last 20 minutes. Just discussing the Carl Bashir's the Navy diver that the Men of Honor was created. It's his life story in the Navy. Learning something new, learning that he was from Kentucky. So very,
that's
very
us as
interesting.
divers. We're always trying to learn something new, and
Oh
we did
yeah.
that today.
Well, and that's
At least I did. Or
yeah. I mean, that's something. It's part of diving history, and it's interesting. So it's pushing about 10 minutes after 9. So we're gonna go ahead and get things closed out. But JoJo, it's always a blast getting on here every Monday night talking about scuba, different things. We learn different things, like tonight, with Carl Bashir's being from Kentucky. So very, very interesting. And you never know what you're going to learn every Monday night when we're on. So, always a blast. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Always a pleasure to sit down Monday evenings and spend an hour talking scuba with everybody, seeing everybody, chime in with comments and everything. We started this back at the first of the coronavirus pandemic. just to kind of pass the time, and it's kind of grown a little bit to, talking about various different things, travel, equipment, diving history, things like that. So I always love being able to spend an hour with you guys each and every Monday night. So, thank you guys for tuning in. JoJo, do you have any last words?
Y'all get out there, dive safe, have some fun.
And always remember, the 2021 season at Pennyroyal is coming to an end. We've only got this coming weekend and next weekend left in our regular season. So, of course, after that time, it is reservations only. The reservation link is up on our website. It is $100 for the reservation. That covers 4 divers for the day. If you've got 5 or 6, then it's $25 each additional diver. If you've only got 4, it's still $100. That covers their admission. But as always, if you guys are out, you're going to be diving this weekend. If you're diving with us, we can't wait to see you. But if you're diving elsewhere, here or abroad, we hope you have a fun, safe, and enjoyable diving weekend. For JoJo, myself, and everybody here at the park, everybody be safe, and we'll catch you guys next Monday night here on Monday Night Safety Stop, only on the Pennyroyal Divers Group.